Welcome to the KPC Smart Money Podcast with Kevin and Karen Christ. Well, last week we did a 2022 market review. Hope that wasn't too depressing for you, but I hope the message that you got out of that was 2022 wasn't so hot. We survived it, but we need to rethink how we approach
we're sorry
investing and savings.
And we're sorry if you left the podcast depressed.
Okay,
we'll try to be more uplifting this week.
So one of the things that we are seeing because of people fearful of the market, not wanting to jump in, is that people are sitting on cash right now. And that cash might be in your investment portfolios, sitting in money markets, barely paying 1%, or a lot of times that cash is sitting in bank accounts, just regular old savings accounts.
Lots of people.
I mean, we've seen
50, 60, $100,000
or more
in a brick and mortar savings account,
making literally practically nothing. Yeah. And so that's dead money, people. It's sitting there. Sure, it's protected. You're not going to lose anything, but you're also not even barely keeping up with inflation on that money. So one of the things...
It's growing mold on it.
Yeah. So one of the things we talk to people a lot about is where can you put that money and still have safety and liquidity?
Yeah.
Those are important because a lot of people sitting on savings accounts because there's a portion of it they may need to pay off some big bills. So I would talk to you about going out and looking at high yield savings accounts. These are online banks. They do not have the expenses of your traditional brick and mortar banks, and they tend to pay higher rates than you are going to see in your neighborhood bank down the street. Now, I've done a lot of investigating here recently, and, you can use NerdWallet. There's a couple others out.
Bankrate.com.
But can I tell you something? They kind of get, I'm sure somebody's sliding them cash, okay, under the table to put some of these, recommendations out there.
Of course.
Because I was looking even today before this podcast.
What a shocker.
I know. I'm looking at it and they're like, ooh, best high yield savings, 3.5. And I'm going, I'm getting 4.15.
You are?
I am.
That's good. Dude.
Yeah, but it took me a while to find it. And so, and I have had favorites in the past. I used Synchrony Bank for quite a while because they were one of the best. And then all of a sudden, they just started being real slow on increasing their interest rates when the rates went up. And I went, okay, you're not being very responsive. Let me find a couple other ones. And I'll throw these out here, but please do your own research. My favorite right now is Bask Bank, BASK, BANK, paying 4.15%. There are no minimums. It's simply a place to put your excess cash. It's linked to your checking account. So when we're talking about liquidity, you can get your money from the high yield savings account back into your checking account within 3 business days.
So Karen, if you were to Google Bask Bank right now, would it pop right up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I mentioned bankrate.com, and Karen brought up a good point. As somebody, are they getting money under the table to tell you to take the one that pays 3.3 instead of the 4.15? Who knows? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, you got to do some digging because one of my other favorites is, it used to be called Comenity, and now it's called Bread Savings. They're also not listed on a lot of these sites, but they are paying more than you will see if you just pick the first Google link that pops up when you look at high yield savings account.
Okay, so when you say digging, how did you find this 4.15 when you say digging? How did you dig? I want to know.
Okay.
These people that are listening, I'm sure they want to know, but I want to know.
So you just whatever browser, internet, search engine you're using, type in, the typical thing is savings accounts with highest interest rates or best, best savings accounts. And bankrate.com is almost always going to be one of the top ones. NerdWallet's going to be one of the top ones. Great. Open it up and take a peek. Right now, nothing out there is even over 4%. So I went further down. I got away from the big guys, the big names, and I probably followed at least 8 different links.
The ones that paid companies so they could be on the top of the SEO.
Correct. Right. So you got to get below the paid for.
Dig. I see. Yeah. Dig. I get it.
Search engine optimized accounts, and that's how I found it.
Okay.
And I found several of them. So just to sum that one up, high yield savings account to park any money that you want to make more than the brick and mortar bank. Only leave in your brick and mortar bank enough money for a dire emergency, cash you would need like tomorrow. And that's really rare because you can get this money back into your regular checking account in 3 business days. And in my opinion, 4.15% is a heck of a lot better than 0.5%.
Hey, Karen.
1% maybe if you're lucky.
2 years ago, a 10-year Treasury note was 0.7%.
Right.
And so, people are just, they're not paying attention. They're busy at work. I get it. They're busy at work. They're busy, taking their grandkids to soccer games. Life gets, I think life is harder now. There's just so many things coming at you.
Very fast paced.
Things are just, you're getting inundated with things to do.
Well, here's my 2 cents on CDs too. Don't do it. That is not liquid. You are locking that money up for 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, and quite frankly, some of the high yield savings I just mentioned are paying more than CDs.
We just had a client that 6 months ago said, I'm gonna, my brother-in-law runs a bank out in somewhere Sticks, Texas, and he's going to give me 3% on an 18-month CD. Well, you can't touch that without penalty for 18 months. Well, why would you
do that, man?
Well, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, now, this is not exactly as liquid, but right now is a great idea, and that's the I-bonds. You want to explain a little bit about what the I-bonds are? By the way, I just checked. They're paying 6.86.
Okay, so let me tell you how they arrive at that. They give you, the I for I bond stands for inflation. So every 6 months, they can change the rate. Wasn't it like a year ago? It was paying like 9%. Some of you are listening to us.
A year ago. February 2022 is paying 9.3.
Yeah, should have jumped on it then when we got busy. Right?
Exactly.
We get busy. So now, so here's the deal on I bonds. The bad thing about I bonds is that you got to go to treasurydirect.gov. We're financial advisors. You can't get them through us. You got to go to treasurydirect.gov. So our clients are going, well, sell us some I bonds. We heard they're great. No, you got to go to treasurydirect.gov.
That's the only place you can get them.
Yeah, so we have one client that says, she doesn't have a computer, she doesn't drive, she depends on us to do everything with snail mail, and what you can't do it. You got to go to treasurydirect.gov. And the downside is, besides that, is that $10,000 is the maximum per person. So if you're a married couple, you could do $10,000 apiece. And the only other way around that is if you get a tax refund. Karen and I don't know what that is, but if you get a tax refund, you can send your tax refund up to $5,000 in addition to the $10,000 for I bond. So here's what's happening. They're giving you a base of 0.4%, and also known in the financial world as 40 basis points, but 0.4%. Okay. And then they're putting on another 6.48% adjusted for inflation, which brings you to the 6.86. I might have not got the math exactly right, but you get the point. And so every 6 months they can change it. So hopefully in May will be the next time they change it. November and May are the dates. So hopefully in May it goes up, right? Or it can change. Now, the liquidity, there is some if you don't keep it at least 5 years, there is some penalty, but it's just you have to give back the interest.
Only for 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months worth of interest.
So you cannot touch it the first 12 months. If you decide to withdraw anything from years, 2 to 5, you're just going to give back 3 months of interest. I mean,
yeah, it's
wow. Ooh.
Yeah. So the small little tiny penalty is worth what you're going to make on this with, no risk.
But think about it for, even for college funds, if you want to do this long term, at least do it while we're in an inflationary period and we're seeing these kinds of rates.
Okay, look, we're out of time, but you could buy a 2-year Treasury note right now for over 4%. So the Fed is raising all the rates, which some people are saying are heading us into a recession because now people don't want to buy cars or houses anymore because the mortgage rates and interest rates are going up. But if it comes to saving money, it's good for you. So take advantage of it. Thank you for listening. Be blessed. We'll be back next week.
You've been listening to the KPC Smart Money Podcast with Kevin and Karen Christ. To listen to more episodes, visit kpcsmartmoney.com. You can also find the KPC Smart Money Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher.
KPC Financial Solutions is an independent financial services firm that utilizes a variety of investment and insurance products. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through KPC Financial Solutions, LLC, a registered investment company. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any reference to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. KPC Financial Solutions is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by KPC Financial Solutions. Hypothetical examples have been provided for illustrative purposes only. It does not represent a real-life scenario and should not be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation.